engineers, and welcome back to another tutorial. Continuing where we left off last time with progression. Today we are going to, we're going to tear down this lander, and I'm going to show you how you can get started fairly quickly with building your first base up. So without further ado, let's get started. Alright, so the first thing we want to do is start grinding this bad boy down. The problem is we have to be careful, because if we grind too much off, then we could set ourselves up for failure by not having the battery connected to our survival kit or to our O2 generator. So you're going to want to be careful. I would recommend using a mod such as advanced welding so that you can, kind of highlight what you want to grind and then use your right mouse button to lock it in so that you don't over grind anything. I'm not using that mod today, but let's see what happens. Let's start with the engines. Right, they're right on the outside, they're easy to get to. So we'll grind these down. We're all good there. The things that we want to keep in place though, we want to keep in place the seat, we want to keep in place the O2 generator, the battery, and the survival kit, at least for right now, so that we don't have to worry about things like oxygen and all of that. Now we are on PERTAM, so oxygen is not a big thing right now, but sometimes during the dust storms and stuff it can become an issue. So we're going to grind out what's technically the top part of the lander, and then we're going to leave everything that's in black on up here, with the exception of things like the landing gear and all of that. So we'll get this stuff cut out, and then I'll show you what we need to start doing. See you in a few. Alright, so some might be wondering about the antenna and the beacon. So here's the thing. You can't fix the antenna at this point. You don't know the technology. And then the same is true about the beacon. So if we grind the beacon down a little bit, you don't know the technology. And since we're not turning this into a flyer or into a rover, they're not really needed at this point. So we can go ahead and grind them down. You'll have the parts for them. You won't necessarily be able to use or place some of the parts into the survival kit, like the large steel tube, the radio components, and the detector components, along with metal grids. Will all have to go in the seat as far as storing them if you run out of storage space. So I just wanted to throw that in there, and now I'm going to go back to continuing to grind this bad boy down. Alright, so this is what we're left with right here. Now I took out the beacon because we can't rebuild that as of yet anyway, and we might as well use it for parts. Additionally, I took off the hydrogen engine as well as the timer block that was right here, and of course all the landing gear. We left the seat in place, that way we can recharge from it. If you're like me, you don't like to stand in front of the survival kit and listen to that sound over and over and over again. So I tend to leave the seat there until I absolutely no longer need it, and I can get my power from somewhere else. So with all this stuff grinded down, this is pretty much what we're left with here. 153 steel plates, 78 motors, 137 construction components, 5 computers, and 2 interior plates. And then inside the seat here, we have 8 metal grids, 6 large steel tubes, 1 detector component, 3 small steel tubes, and 8 radio components. Now, what are we going to do with this? Well, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to start by putting down a platform, right? We have to have a place to start building stuff. And the first real thing that we need is a power supply. So this is where we start building our windmill. Now, I don't want anybody to be confused by thinking that grinding the dropship completely down, that you're going to get everything you need in order to build all the components that you would normally start with, such as a windmill, a refinery, and an assembler. That is just not the case. You are going to have to do a little bit of digging in order to get everything that you need. But there are some things that we can build right now to help alleviate some of that So we need some interior plates. We only have 2 interior plates in our inventory, but that's enough to get this thing placed. Right? And then we'll weld up what we can on it. And that was pretty much it. All right, so we do need some parts that we're going to have to construct. And for that, we're going to have to dig. So I'm going to start digging out a little hole right here. And I will be right back with you and show you where we're at. All right, so we start with about 15,000 stone or so here. You're going to have to get your sandbags or your gravel bags started. But keep an eye on it so that you're not losing a whole bunch of time just waiting on the gravel bags. So make sure that once you input the components that you need built, that you move them to the forward spot here so that they get built and you can go on and continue doing what you need to do. So with that, we're going to take out all of our components here. Yeah, we're done. There we go. I did use the build planner for this. And in case you're not sure how to do that, just when you have a half-built or a partially built component, just right-click on it. It'll add it to your build planner. And then you can go down to your survival kit and press Shift and middle mouse button. All right, check that out. We now have a source of power. I'm going to also build this out a little bit, give us a little bit of room. And now that we have a source of power, I'm going to come over here and I'm going to take everything out of the seat right here. And we are going to grind the seat down. All right. And let's get the seat put in over here. This will give us a place to go ahead and recharge. Open this up. Let's get our parts put back in there that we can't put in the survival kit. The next thing we're going to build, there's some debate over whether or not it should be the assembler or the refinery. My personal belief is that it should be the refinery first. And the reason I go with this contention is because the refinery is going to break down stone and give you more resources than the survival kit. It's more efficient. So the survival kit's the next thing that we're going to build here. Or I'm sorry, not the survival kit, the refinery. With that said, make sure that you have an idea for your layout. Because remember, ultimately we're going to have the survival kit, the O2 generator, the refinery, and basic assembler all connected up here, as well as a small cargo container. Let's, we'll put our refinery right here. We'll stick the assembler back there. We'll put a small cargo container in front of it. That'll give us a way to put on an O2 generator and the survival kit as well. And then later on, we'll do a battery. Now that we have the refinery done, we've unlocked some additional blocks. And we can move on to our assembler. Make sure that you get your assembler port lined up correctly with your refinery port. Like so. Alright, so we got the assembler built. Next up on the list is going to be the small cargo container. I've already got the four metal grids in place, as well as a couple of small steel tubes. We can't build the rest of it using the survival kit, so we are going to have to use this assembler over here, and I have already moved the components that we're going to need, or rather the resources that we're going to need from the survival kit into here, and now we have to do more digging. Sweet deal, cargo container is in place. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut out these 2 blocks right here. And the next thing that we're going to build is going to be the O2H2 generator. The next thing that we're going to do, we're going to come over here, we're going to top off our bottle. And we're going to top off our suit, right? So now we're all topped off right there. We'll take the ice and the bottle out. And now I'm going to grind this completely down. All right, we no longer need it there. I think we'll attach it right there like that. Get our welder back out. Let's weld in everything that we can, right? We pulled some stuff off that other one. Get it right clicked, get the parts put into work. Once that's all done crafting, we will get this thing finished. Everything's done. Now we got the O2 generator up and running. We can put the ice and the bottles back in there. And we will have oxygen and or hydrogen, or I'm sorry, we'll have hydrogen and or oxygen, depending on what you need. The next thing that we're going to put on is going to be the survival kit. And go over here and grind down this survival kit. Let's open it up, make sure it's empty. Aside from building a battery and some additional items in order to be able to run your little starter base here efficiently, I would recommend that you put at least 2 more wind turbines up and craft 1 battery. This will give you the ability to run your assembler, your refinery, your O2H2 generator, and your survival kit effectively. As far as the battery is concerned, that is completely up to you. If you grind it down, you'll lose the power cells, you'll have all the other components, and you'll still have to craft the power cells. That is it for this episode. Thank you for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Enjoy your game, everyone, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.